Hey, how's it going, everyone, and welcome back. If you find value in these videos, make sure to definitely drop a like and subscribe for more. In today's episode, I kind of really want to talk a little bit about social eating around ketogenic diets. I got two great articles here, which I'll put in the description of today's video if you want to go ahead and read the entire article for yourself. They are very much around social eating when it comes to doing keto, which, if you've been following me for a while, you probably know that I don't really like saying the word keto diet. I really prefer ketogenic lifestyle and also diet, which primarily consists of doing a very low carb ketogenic diet or very much a close to no carb carnivore diet. The other article that I do have up on the screen here, which I'll get to momentarily, is also a carnivore article as well too. Both good articles that revolve around social eating. The reason I don't like saying the word keto is because a lot of people really forget that keto ice creams, keto cookies, keto snack bars, they're all processed, and a proper human diet really does not revolve around multi-ingredients when it comes to the food that you're consuming. All the keto ice cream, bars, cookies, whatever you want to call them, they have a paragraph long of ingredients, but a true, proper ketogenic diet consists of items that have one, maybe two, maybe three word ingredients, primarily maybe herbs, some salt, maybe some peppers and stuff. Very natural. But I'll go ahead and definitely showcase this article for today, which revolves around keto and 7 ways to navigate social situations on a ketogenic diet, in my personal preference. But I really want to talk about some of these key features in this article because a lot of people really struggle with these issues during social events. When I first started doing this almost 2 years ago, I actually struggled too. And a lot of it became my own personal, I want to say, fears, worries, and anxiety. Because ultimately, I was really worried about what other people were going to say. But unless you tell someone that you are on a special kind of diet, they're not going to know. I'll get to that more momentarily, but let's go ahead and look at some of these tips in this article here. So number one, be upfront yet open in your communication. Basically, if you go to a social event or maybe go over to somebody's house, just really much, be open, saying, hey, I'm really having some health issues, or maybe I want to maintain great health, and I am doing this. It's working for me. So therefore, please, be mindful that I'm not really into, sweets and cookies. I have no problem with what you order or you eat. Just pretty much be open to whomever you're going to go over, maybe a family member's house or maybe a friend's house, and, definitely let them know what you're going through. Know your triggers. A lot of people really struggle, with, food addiction. Especially in the ketogenic space. Alcohol is definitely pretty much an addiction for me, which is why I fully just avoid it now. But yes, obviously triggers revolve around certain food for certain people. If they just have one nibble, just like if I have just one beer or one mixed drink, I can't stop drinking alcohol. I gotta binge drink to a level of being blackout drunk. The same thing applies for people. If they just have one taste of a pasta dish, one taste of bread, they find themselves binging on that pasta dish, that cookie, or pretty much whatever. So definitely know your triggers. Taste or taste of alcohol is definitely a trigger for me. And for many people that are very much sugar addicts or have a very bad sweet tooth, you gotta confront pretty much whatever triggers that you may have. It does take a lot of self-awareness, but you gotta look yourself in the mirror and you gotta be honest with yourself saying, hey, I have a sweet tooth. If I have one cookie, I gotta have like 10 cookies, right? Plan ahead. This is very important. If you go somewhere, do your own research, do your due diligence. Actually almost 2 years ago, I ended up going to a restaurant. I did not do my due diligence. It was actually an Italian restaurant. So guess what ended up happening? Well, I had a gigantic pasta dinner. Yeah, because I did not plan ahead. If I had planned ahead, I would have thought things differently. And when it came time for me to order my meal, maybe I would have looked at the menu ahead of time and basically would have not been pressured. Because ultimately what ended up happening was I glanced at the menu, and the waiter was getting to me, and I'm looking at the menu. I'm like, oh boy, I'm feeling rushed. Let me have penne lavacca. So I was very much pressured because I didn't plan ahead. If I had planned ahead, I would have been like, hey, can you do just like maybe some chicken, not chicken parm, just basically pretty much like lemon chicken per se. I kind of, just want like skinless grilled chicken or something like that. Maybe that would have been better than being pressured into having like a pasta meal and pretty much breaking ketogenic state. Bring your own everything. That applies for going over friends' places. Very, very important. I've gone over to countless numbers of friends' houses where I've literally just packed my own meal. And once again, it goes back to number one, educating your friend base, educating your family members. Primarily, they just really want to make sure you're happy, which I'll get to more about that momentarily. Number 5, opt for keto snacks to hold you over. This one I actually really disagree with because I am a big believer in just eating larger meals. If you eat big meals, you're not going to be hungry in between meals, and you're going to stay more full, and you're not going to need to snack. But if you do need to snack, there are ways around it. And yes, there are keto options such as macadamia nuts are definitely there for you. If you are doing a standard keto diet, you can definitely just find a way to maybe get some tablespoons of butter. Yes, butter, very healthy for a snack. Very, very healthy for a snack. Great butter, not margarine, not heated seed oils, but just grass-fed butter. A tablespoon of butter, it will definitely carry you over. Know all your fail-proof substitutions at restaurants. This really ties into plan ahead. Obviously, if a restaurant doesn't have the grilled chicken option, what do you then do? You got to be thinking about a backup plan as well. Also, choose keto-friendly beverage options. There are a lot of traps because when I started doing standard keto back in 2024, I was still consuming alcohol, and I pretty much went from drinking beer to pretty much gin tonics. And you can go to a bar and pretty much say, hey, can I have like diet tonic water? At the end of the day, you may not know if you're actually getting diet tonic water or not. Diet tonic water is not going to have any carbs or sugar. It's just going to be carbonated water with sodium. But understand that there is no real way for you to check unless you're literally like looking behind the bar and stuff. So be very mindful of this. If you are consuming alcohol, a low-carb option is definitely White Claws. I'm not being sponsored by White Claws by all means. I don't really advertise or advocate for alcohol anymore in my life. There is no benefits whatsoever. But a true, real low-carb option would be a White Claws vodka seltzer. That's like a couple grams of net carbs, believe it or not. But if you are going to be doing like a diet tonic water, a club soda, be mindful that those drinks may or may not actually contain sugar and carbs. And if you are very sensitive, then you could very well be kicked out of ketosis. Okay, so now on to the Carnivore article as well. how to prepare yourself for social gatherings on the carnivore diet. Preparing for social gatherings while the carnivore diet can be challenging, but with the right approach, it's entirely doable. Stay committed to your diet during social events. Evolve to understanding the reasons you're following the diet. Communicate with loved ones, eating beforehand or bring your own food, and being mindful at the venue. While these strategies can also can help you enjoy social gatherings without compromising your carnivore diet, the importance knowing the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Very true. Love this quote. And this article is very much a reiteration of the same thing as the keto article. So I just want to go over my own personal experience around social eating. It doesn't have to really be perfect. And by all means, if at a social gathering you do sway against a carnivore or ketogenic diet, you're not a failure. You're not like, it doesn't mean that it's over for you. Okay. A lot of these articles come off really misleading a little bit because it's like, oh wow, you know, I had a pasta dinner. It's over for me, right? Well, guess what? I've had plenty of pasta dinners when I first started doing this because I went to a lot of venues, and over the course of 2 years now, I've utterly reversed my type of disease that I have, polycystic kidney disease. So it shows you that being straight on perfect and potentially swaying away for whatever reason, it's not going to detrimentally, it's not like game over for you. But when you make it into a habit, that's when it becomes a problem. Okay? If you go to a social event, let's say maybe once every couple of months, and you may have to sway away from carnivore or keto, it's understandable. But if you are really not looking to sway away from carnivore or keto, understand that there are so many options for you. And one of the biggest stressors that I've talked to so many people about is really anxiety and around social eating, about what other people are thinking about what you're doing. Like I said, straight up, if you don't tell people what you're doing, nobody knows. Secondly, your confidence level is going to show across the board. I go out to bars with my boys, even though I don't drink anymore. Bartenders don't really like me per se because I order a cup of coffee. Yeah, I don't really get some fun looks anymore. This guy's not going to be racking up a bar tab like he used to. Okay, whatever, right? I'm doing me. I order a cup of coffee. I don't tell people why I order a cup of coffee. I just order a frigging cup of coffee. And then, typically when I go out, if there's steak on the menu, primarily a fatty piece of steak like a ribeye, hey, I'm getting a ribeye. Yeah, and I'll be very vocal. Hey, can you please cook my steak? Or rather, I ask the questions, how do you prepare, how do you cook steaks? Do you use, a grill fire? Oh yeah, we use a grill fire. Excellent. I don't have to worry about seed oils. I don't have to worry about that. But if they don't use a grill, I'll go ahead and say, hey, can you cook my steak in butter? Can you cook my eggs in butter? But primarily when I go out, I get a lot of carnivore options just because a lot of keto options at bars and restaurants, they do have in a lot of like very hidden bad ingredients. Believe it or not, a lot of restaurants, they will use butter with canola oil. Yeah, it's pretty unreal, right? A lot of bars and restaurants will have butter with olive oil. So if you are strict carnivore, understand that whatever butter you might be getting may not be true grass-fed butter. It might be butter with olive oil or a seed oil. So be mindful of that. Definitely ask questions. But for me personally, in the last year and a half now of being in a constant ketogenic low-carb state, I pretty much mastered it in the sense that it's all about confidence. I go out to social events. I go out to venues. It's just second nature. I look at a menu very quickly. My brain is very much trained. It's like, hey, can you please do this for me? Okay, no. At the end of the day, Restaurants just want to make sure that you're happy. People at social events just want to make sure you're happy. And nobody's going to know what you're doing unless you tell them. But I mean, when I go out and I'm with my friends and I'm walking around for a cup of coffee and I'm also ordering either a couple burger patties, my friends know what I'm doing. And they're like, yeah, is your double burger patty with some butter, delicious, Chris? And I'm like, yeah, my carnivore burger meal is definitely pretty friggin' delicious. Not to mention I feel great. You tend to really laugh about it. But like I said, if you are just doing a standard ketogenic diet, there are so many options. Just opt for the non-starchy veggies, cauliflower, pretty much broccolis, even non-starchy veggies. If you do a salad, just definitely stay away from croutons. Be mindful about the salad dressing because that's where a lot of carbs are going to be. And another tip as well too, if you are going to be doing a keto diet on the go, then your meals at home should really be close to no carb, just in case you get a bunch of hidden carbs at like a restaurant or bar. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up this video here. Hopefully this helps anyone out there that is suffering with social anxiety, social fears and worries. Like I said, I've done a lot of this, and the biggest problem that I had in the beginning is that I was worried about what other people would say, but people are actually more worried about if you're just going to enjoy yourself, believe it or not. Take it easy, everyone, and I'll see you on the next episode. Later.